When it comes to quick meals or emergency food storage, canned meats often seem like a convenient lifesaver. Long shelf life, easy to prepare, and cheap. But here's the reality. Many of those shiny cans are ticking health time bombs packed with excessive sodium, nitrates, preservatives, and mystery meat fillers that can wreak havoc on your body. What's worse? Most people think they're eating real meat, when in fact they're consuming highly processed scraps, artificial flavors, and chemicals disguised as protein. So today, we're exposing the truth behind some of the most popular canned meat brands that you should avoid at all costs. And don't worry, at the end, we'll also share some healthy, high-quality alternatives that are actually worth your money and safe to eat. 1. Spam Classic, Hormel Foods. When it comes to canned meats that have become almost legendary for all the wrong reasons, Spam Classic sits right at the top. Introduced back in the 1930s, Spam was originally praised for being a convenient source of protein during wartime. But in today's world, where we understand nutrition far better, Spam is a prime example of what ultra-processed meat looks like. A single serving of Spam, just 2 ounces, contains a shocking 790 milligrams of sodium, which is over 1/3 of the daily recommended limit. That's before you even consider how unrealistic that serving size is. Most people consume half a can, or even the whole thing, pushing sodium intake well beyond safe limits. Excess sodium is linked to high blood pressure, water retention, kidney issues, and heart disease, making Spam a silent danger on your pantry shelf. But the salt is just the beginning. The ingredients list is painfully short, and not in a good way. It's mostly pork with ham, salt, modified potato starch, sugar, and sodium nitrite. Sodium nitrite is a chemical preservative that gives Spam its pink color and longer shelf life, but it's also a known carcinogen when combined with the amines in meat during cooking or digestion. That means eating Spam regularly can increase your risk of colon and stomach cancer. Spam also contains hydrolyzed potato starch, which helps bind the meat together into that smooth, unnatural texture. Combine that with its high fat content, particularly saturated fat, and you've got a product that's not only unhealthy for your heart, but also extremely calorie-dense. Just 1 serving contains 16 grams of fat, including 6 grams of saturated fat, which can raise LDL, bad cholesterol levels. Let's not forget that Spam is often fried or baked, adding even more fat and salt to an already unhealthy product. When you think about it, there's almost no redeeming nutritional value in Spam other than protein. And even that comes with a heavy price tag for your cardiovascular health. So if you see that blue and yellow can on store shelves, think twice before tossing it into your cart. There are far better ways to get protein that don't involve preservatives, excess sodium, and questionable meat sources. Spam might be nostalgic, but in 2025, it's a nutrition nightmare that's best left in the past. 2. Libby's Vienna Sausages. If Spam is the poster child for processed meats, Libby's Vienna sausages are its equally concerning cousin. Marketed as a quick protein snack, these tiny canned sausages are anything but healthy. They might look innocent in their small cans, but each bite is packed with sodium, preservatives, and low-quality meat byproducts that make them a product you should absolutely avoid. Let's start with the ingredients list. It reads like a chemistry experiment. Mechanically separated chicken, pork, beef, water, salt, corn syrup, sodium nitrite, and flavorings. Mechanically separated is a fancy term for meat paste made by forcing animal parts, including bones, through a high-pressure sieve. That paste is then shaped into those uniform little sausages. If that doesn't sound appetizing, it's because it's not. A single can, just 4.6 ounces, contains around 800 to 900 milligrams of sodium, which is almost half the daily limit. And if you think you're just going to eat 1 or 2 sausages, think again. Most people finish the entire can. High sodium intake like this can quickly lead to hypertension, fluid retention, and long-term heart issues. But the sodium is only one piece of the puzzle. Libby's Vienna sausages are loaded with corn syrup, which adds unnecessary sugar and contributes to weight gain, insulin resistance, and other metabolic problems. Then there's sodium nitrite, the same cancer-linked preservative found in Spam. This chemical reacts with amines in the meat during cooking or digestion, forming nitrosamines, compounds directly tied to colon, stomach, and pancreatic cancer. The fat content is another red flag. Nearly 13 grams of fat per serving. including 5 grams of saturated fat. This type of fat raises bad cholesterol, LDL, while lowering good cholesterol, HDL, significantly increasing your risk for heart disease and stroke. What's more, these sausages provide almost no real nutritional benefit. Minimal vitamins, almost no fiber, and protein that comes bundled with harmful additives. Even worse, many people eat Vienna sausages straight out of the can or heat them up in microwaves, which can intensify the breakdown of preservatives and amplify those cancer-causing compounds. And let's not forget the can itself. Some older versions of Libby's cans contained BPA-lined interiors, a chemical linked to hormone disruption and fertility issues. So while they might be convenient and cheap, these canned sausages are a ticking health time bomb. Whether it's the excessive sodium, chemical preservatives, or mystery meat texture, Libby's Vienna sausages are one canned product that's best left untouched. If you want something portable and protein-packed, go for tuna packed in water or low-sodium canned beans instead. Your heart and body will thank you. 3. Armor potted meat. If there's one canned meat that raises eyebrows, and not in a good way, it's Armor potted meat. At first glance, the small can might look nostalgic, even comforting. It's been around for decades and often marketed as a classic American snack. But once you flip that can and read the ingredients, you'll quickly realize this is one of the worst offenders in the canned meat aisle. Let's break it down. The ingredient list starts with mechanically separated chicken, beef tripe, and pork fat, followed by salt, water, flavoring, mustard, and sodium nitrite. That alone should make you think twice. Mechanically separated chicken is basically what's left of the bird after the prime cuts are removed. Bones, tendons, and tissue ground into a pink paste under high pressure. And tripe? That's the lining of a cow's stomach. Edible, yes, but in this context, it's used as a cheap filler to bulk up the product. Nutritionally, it's a disaster. A single 3-ounce can of Armor potted meat contains 840 milligrams of sodium, 12 grams of fat, and 5 grams of saturated fat, but barely 9 grams of protein. That's a terrible trade-off. You're getting nearly all the bad stuff, salt, fat, and chemicals, with minimal real nutrition. Worse yet, the sodium nitrite preservative in Armor products has been repeatedly linked to the formation of nitrosamines, compounds that have been classified as probable human carcinogens by health authorities. Particularly concerning is its texture and shelf life. This meat paste can sit unrefrigerated for years, and that's only possible thanks to a cocktail of preservatives and stabilizers that keep it from spoiling. While convenient, it also means you're consuming food that's far removed from anything natural. The flavor? Artificially enhanced. The texture? A mix between liver pate and meat-flavored baby food. And the aftertaste? Pure salt and chemicals. Many consumers online have even complained about the greasy residue and unpleasant smell, with some jokingly comparing it to pet food for humans. Unfortunately, that's not far from the truth. Armor's consistency and processing methods are strikingly similar to what's used in animal feed manufacturing. From a health perspective, the high sodium and saturated fat can easily contribute to high blood pressure, heart disease, and kidney strain, especially for those eating it regularly. And because it contains byproducts and organ meat, it's also high in purines, which can trigger painful gout flare-ups in sensitive individuals. Add to that the potential BPA contamination from its can lining, which has been shown to interfere with hormones and increase cancer risk. And you're looking at one of the most unhealthy canned products still on store shelves. Bottom line, Armor potted meat is cheap, salty, and shelf-stable, but at a serious cost to your health. There's nothing potted about it that justifies putting it into your diet. If you're craving a spreadable meat alternative, try making your own tuna or salmon pate using fresh fish, Greek yogurt, and herbs. It'll taste infinitely better, and won't come with a side of heart disease. 4. Great Value Canned Corned Beef. Hash. Walmart brand. At first glance, Great Value Canned Corned Beef hash from Walmart might look like a quick, comforting breakfast fix. Just pop the can, heat it up, and you've got something hearty and filling. But take a closer look, and you'll realize this product is one of the worst offenders in the canned meat aisle. Beneath that crispy, greasy surface lies a cocktail of saturated fats, sodium, preservatives, and mystery meats that can wreak havoc on your health over time. Let's start with the basics, the ingredients list. Great Value corned beef hash contains cooked corned beef, rehydrated potatoes, beef fat, salt, sodium nitrite, and flavorings. But the real red flag here is what isn't specified. Walmart's private label meat products are often sourced from multiple suppliers, and there's little transparency about where the beef actually comes from or what specific cuts are used. In other words, you could be eating a mix of low-quality meat trimmings and fillers, disguised under that appetizing golden brown crust. Now let's talk numbers. Just one serving, about half the can, contains around 370 calories, 25 grams of fat, and over 1,000 milligrams of sodium. And remember, there are 2 servings per can, meaning if you finish the whole thing, which most people do, you're consuming over 2,000 milligrams of sodium, almost your entire daily limit in a single meal. That's enough to send your blood pressure soaring and put serious stress on your heart and kidneys. Another sneaky issue is the type of fat used. The beef fat in this product is largely saturated, which raises your LDL cholesterol levels, the bad cholesterol that clogs arteries. Combine that with the sodium nitrite preservative, used to maintain that pinkish color and prolong shelf life, and you're looking at a combination that health experts have repeatedly linked to increased cancer risk, particularly colon and stomach cancers. The quality control of Great Value products also doesn't inspire much confidence. Consumer reports and online reviews frequently mention inconsistent texture, oily residue, and metallic aftertaste, signs of poor quality meat and overprocessing. Some users even reported gritty or rubbery bits in the hash, which might indicate bits of connective tissue or sinew that weren't fully broken down during processing. Beyond health concerns, let's talk about the ingredients' sustainability and sourcing. Walmart has faced criticism for importing beef from countries with questionable animal welfare and sanitation practices, as well as contributing to deforestation through its global meat supply chains. So you're not just eating unhealthy food, you might also be supporting environmentally damaging production. And here's the kicker. While Great Value corned beef hash might be cheap, around $2 a can, that low price comes at a long-term cost. Regular consumption of processed meats like this one has been linked to a 42% higher risk of heart disease and a 19% higher risk of type 2 diabetes, according to research published in the journal Circulation. To make matters worse, these cans are often lined with BPA-containing resin, a chemical known to disrupt hormones and increase cancer risk. While Walmart claims to be phasing out BPA, many older cans still test positive for it. Bottom line, Great Value corned beef. Hash might fill you up, but it's also filling your system with unhealthy fats, sodium, and chemicals that no body needs. Instead of reaching for this canned mess, opt for a homemade version. Boil real potatoes, dice some lean beef or turkey, and pan-fry it with olive oil and spices. You'll get the same satisfying flavor with a fraction of the fat and sodium, and without all the shady ingredients. 5. Hormel chicken breast in water. Hormel markets its canned chicken breast in water as a simple and healthy protein option. An easy way to toss some chicken into your salad or wrap without the hassle of cooking. But peel back that lid, and what you're actually getting is far from fresh, lean chicken. In reality, Hormel's version of canned chicken is a heavily processed product packed with sodium, preservatives, and texture-enhancing additives that make it a poor choice for anyone serious about their health. Let's start with the ingredients. You'd expect this to contain just chicken and water, right? Unfortunately, that's not the case. Most cans include chicken breast meat, modified food starch, salt, and sodium phosphate, a chemical that helps the meat retain water and appear juicier. But that same additive can raise phosphorus levels in your blood, putting stress on your kidneys and potentially leading to bone density loss over time. For people with heart or kidney issues, this is particularly risky. The sodium content alone is shocking. A small 5-ounce can contains 450 to 600 milligrams of sodium, and that's per serving. Many people eat the entire can in one sitting, meaning they're actually consuming more than 1,000 milligrams of sodium from a food that's supposed to be healthy. For context, the American Heart Association recommends limiting sodium intake to 1,500 milligrams per day. So that's nearly your full allowance in one go. The real problem, though, is how the chicken is processed. Instead of using freshly cooked whole cuts of chicken, Hormel's canned version is made from mechanically separated or reformed meat that's been cooked, shredded, and preserved in a salty solution to keep it from spoiling. This gives it that rubbery, stringy texture and odd, metallic flavor many people notice when they open the can. It's not your imagination. That flavor comes from oxidized fats and the aluminum can lining, which often contains traces of BPA, a chemical known to disrupt hormones and increase the risk of certain cancers. There's also a microbial concern. Canned chicken, like Hormel's, has been linked to sporadic cases of bacterial contamination, particularly Clostridium botulinum, a dangerous toxin that thrives in low-oxygen, sealed environments like cans. While rare, it's still a risk, especially with long shelf-life products that aren't stored correctly. And let's not ignore the nutritional trade-off. While a serving might offer around 13 grams of protein, that's offset by its high sodium, minimal micronutrients, and lack of freshness. Freshly grilled chicken breast provides the same protein, fewer preservatives, and none of the metallic aftertaste or chemical load. Hormel, a company that's long been criticized for its reliance on factory-farmed meat, has also faced backlash over its poultry sourcing practices. Reports have documented the use of antibiotics and growth promoters in their supply chain, additives that can lead to antibiotic resistance and contribute to long-term health issues in humans. At the end of the day, Hormel canned chicken breast might seem like a convenient option, but it's far from clean eating. It's a processed, sodium-heavy product that's been stripped of freshness and quality, then masked with preservatives to trick you into thinking it's just as good as real chicken. Spoiler alert, it's not. 6. Treat luncheon meat. If you've ever seen a bright blue can of Treat luncheon meat, you probably recognized it as Spam's cheaper cousin. Produced by Armour, Treat markets itself as a savory, versatile canned meat for sandwiches and meals. But the truth is far from appetizing. This product is one of the worst canned meats on grocery shelves, packed with poor quality ingredients, unhealthy fats, and chemical preservatives that your body definitely doesn't need. Let's start with what's really inside that shiny can. Treat is made from mechanically separated chicken and pork, a mixture of ground-up scraps, connective tissues, and bone residue left over after processing real meat. This blend is emulsified into a pink paste, then mixed with salt, sugar, sodium nitrite, and modified potato starch before being stuffed into a can and cooked under high pressure. The result? A rubbery, ultra-processed block of meat that has more in common with dog food than with actual ham or chicken. Nutritionally, Treat is a disaster in disguise. Just one 2-ounce serving, and let's be honest, nobody eats that little, contains around 180 calories, 16 grams of fat, and nearly 800 milligrams of sodium. Eat half a can, and you're already over half your daily salt limit and pushing your cholesterol through the roof. The saturated fat content is extremely high, the kind that clogs arteries and increases the risk of heart disease and stroke. Then comes the sodium nitrite, the infamous preservative that keeps processed meats pink and fresh-looking. When nitrites combine with amines in the body, they form nitrosamines, which are known carcinogens linked to stomach and colon cancer. Add in BHA and BHT, two synthetic preservatives used to keep the fat from going rancid, and you're ingesting a mix of chemicals that health experts have warned about for decades. Treat's texture and taste also reveal how artificial it really is. The spongy consistency, metallic aftertaste, and oily film that coats your mouth after each bite aren't accidents. They're the result of fat emulsifiers and flavor enhancers designed to mimic the real thing. The meat flavor comes from artificial smoke and MSG, both of which can cause headaches, bloating, and inflammation for sensitive individuals. What's even worse is how this product is marketed. Armour promotes Treat as ready-to-eat protein, emphasizing its convenience and versatility. But convenience doesn't justify ultra-processing and chemical dependency. Canned meats like Treat may last for years on a shelf, but they do so because they're loaded with preservatives your body can't process naturally. Over time, that accumulation contributes to metabolic issues, hormonal imbalance, and chronic inflammation. 7. Canned corned beef. When you think of corned beef, you probably imagine hearty breakfasts, sandwiches piled high with juicy slices, or comforting hash served sizzling in a pan. But here's the harsh truth. Canned corned beef, especially the kind found in those rectangular metal tins with the little key, is one of the worst processed meats you can buy. It's convenient, sure, but nutritionally and chemically, it's a nightmare in disguise. Let's start with the basics. Traditional corned beef is made from brisket that's been salt-cured in a brine containing sugar, spices, and sodium nitrite. But the canned version takes that process to the extreme. The meat is heavily processed, over-salted, and mixed with preservatives to ensure it can last years on a shelf. When you open that can, the greasy pink slab you see isn't home-cooked goodness. It's the result of mechanically processed beef mixed with rendered fat, binders, and chemicals that hold it all together. A small 3-ounce serving of canned corned beef contains roughly 230 calories, 16 grams of fat, and over 800 milligrams of sodium. And that's just a few forkfuls. Most people easily consume double that amount in one sitting, meaning you could be swallowing over 1,500 milligrams of sodium in a single meal. To put that in perspective, the American Heart Association recommends no more than 1,500 milligrams per day, meaning one can of corned beef can exceed your entire day's salt intake. And the salt isn't the only problem. The sodium nitrite used to preserve the meat and keep its pink color is the same compound linked to increased cancer risks, particularly colorectal cancer. Over time, regular consumption of nitrite-heavy meats like canned corned beef can contribute to hypertension, kidney damage, and heart disease. Then there's the fat content, particularly the saturated fat. One serving contains about 7 grams of saturated fat, almost half of your daily limit. This type of fat raises LDL, bad cholesterol, and increases your risk of artery plaque buildup, leading to serious cardiovascular issues. And because canned corned beef often comes from low-grade cuts of meat, it's also high in cholesterol and can contain trace amounts of connective tissue and gelatin used as fillers. If that wasn't enough, the texture and taste give away how processed it really is. The greasy sheen, the salty aftertaste, and the dense, rubbery consistency are all signs of overprocessing and chemical curing. And like many canned foods, it's often packed in a BPA-lined container, meaning you're not just eating unhealthy meat, you're potentially ingesting hormone-disrupting compounds too. You've seen the worst of the worst. The canned meats loaded with sodium, fillers, and mystery ingredients. But not everything on the shelf is bad. A few brands actually do it right, offering real meat, clean ingredients, and genuine nutrition. Let's look at 2 that stand out for all the right reasons. 1. Wild Planet Organic Roasted Chicken Breast. When it comes to clean canned chicken, Wild Planet stands in a league of its own. Their organic roasted chicken breast isn't your typical over-salted, rubbery canned meat. It's made from 100% free-range, certified organic chicken, raised without antibiotics, hormones, or added water. Open the can, and you'll actually see real chunks of chicken breast, not processed mush. The ingredient list is refreshingly simple. Just chicken and sea salt. No preservatives, no phosphates, no artificial flavors. Each serving packs around 21 grams of pure protein, perfect for clean eaters or anyone focused on health and fitness. Another big plus is its low sodium content, helping you avoid bloating and high blood pressure. Wild Planet's slow cooking process locks in natural juices, keeping the texture tender and the flavor authentic. You can toss it into salads, wraps, or pasta without feeling guilty. It's real food with real nutrition. A perfect example of how convenience doesn't have to mean compromise. 2. Safe Catch. Wild Albacore Tuna. If you love tuna but worry about mercury, Safe Catch Wild Albacore Tuna is a clear winner. What sets it apart is that every single fish is tested for mercury, keeping levels far below government limits. That means you can enjoy tuna regularly without the health risks found in cheaper brands. The ingredients are as clean as they come. Just wild-caught tuna and sea salt. No fillers, no preservatives, no nonsense. It's slow-cooked in its own juices to lock in nutrients, giving you up to 30 grams of lean protein per serving. It's also loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which support brain, heart, and joint health, something you won't find in most processed meats. Sustainably caught and dolphin-safe, Safe Catch is good for you and the planet. The taste is fresh, rich, and satisfying. Perfect for salads, sandwiches, or rice bowls. It's the kind of quality that proves healthy eating can still be simple, tasty, and convenient. At the end of the day, not all canned meats are created equal. Some are packed with salt, fillers, and preservatives that do more harm than good, while others, like Wild Planet and Safe Catch, prove that convenience can still be healthy. The key is learning to read labels, avoiding overly processed ingredients, and choosing options made with real meat and simple seasonings. Your health deserves better than mystery meat in a can. Next time you're grocery shopping, take a moment to check the ingredients. That small step can make a big difference in how you feel and function every day. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss out on more honest food breakdowns just like this one. Eat smart, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next video.